we'll see about distribution of data and normal distribution. To give an overview of what are we going to see in this session, we'll see what is distribution, we'll see what is normal distribution, what are the characteristics of normal distribution, we'll see which variable follows normal distribution and what is the rule of thumb regarding this, and finally why are we more concerned about a variable following normal distribution. Let's go into first seeing about what do you mean by distribution. Distribution generally refers to frequency distribution. This word frequency is many times understood and not written explicitly. Now, frequency distribution means it's a distribution of frequency of values of a variable in a given sample. Say let's take a small example. Let's take heart rate measured in a small sample of people. So if you plot heart rate in x-axis beats per minute, and if you plot what are the number of persons in that particular sample having a particular heart rate. Let's take how many number of people have 55 as heart rate if I mark, say for example 10. Then say 56, 57 and so on if I mark and join all these lines and form a curve. This refers to frequency distribution, or in other words distribution of the heart rate. So this is called as distribution of data, or other words frequency distribution. Now let's see what is normal distribution. Normal distribution is a type of distribution which comes under what is called as probability distribution. What do we mean by probability distribution? Distribution in which we can determine a number of observations above or below a particular point in terms of probability. That is called as probability distribution. Now let's look into what are the characteristics of this probability of this normal distribution. You can see here this normal distribution is a bell-shaped curve. It is symmetric. It has mean at its center which divides into two equal parts. The median is also equal to mean. So mean equal to median and it divides into two equal parts. Now the most important point is that if you go from mean to one standard deviation on either sides, you can cover 68% of observation, and if it is 2 SD on both sides of mean, 95% of observations can be covered. So this is what we mean by we can predict that 95% of, there is a probability that 95% of observations will lie within mean plus or minus 2 SD. So that's what I was telling, that we can predict how many observations will be covered within a particular range by probability. That's why this is called as probability distribution. A small note on why this distribution is called normal distribution is that this was first explained by a French mathematician called Abraham de Moivre, but later characterized very well by a German mathematician called Gauss. That's why this normal distribution is also called as Gaussian distribution. Now, why is this called as normal distribution? Because when Gauss wanted to explain this mathematically, he erected perpendiculars from the mean. Say for example like this, on both sides of 1 SD, plus 1 SD minus SD. And he explained that this perpendicular will cover 68%. So this Latin word normalis refers to perpendicular. So as Gauss explained this by erecting perpendiculars on both sides of the mean, he named it as normal distribution. Please remember that this word normal does not have any relation to clinical normality or clinical normalcy. So even if a data is not following normal distribution, there is nothing abnormal about that data. Now let's look into which variable follows normal distribution. What is the rule of thumb? Let's look into the first rule of thumb. All bodily parameters follow normal distribution. What are the examples of bodily parameter? Weight, height, blood pressure, heart rate, blood glucose, cholesterol. So all these body parameters follow normal distribution. There is one or two exceptions Exceptions like say antibody titer. Antibody titer is a Bodley parameter, but it does not follow normal distribution. There's a small note of caution also here. This depends upon the sample size. Say for example, if you measure blood pressure for 5 or 10 people and try to plot a distribution like this, many times you will not get a distribution resembling a normal distribution. But the same variable blood pressure, if you measure in 300 or 500 people and plot a distribution like this, it usually follows normal distribution. So please remember that this rule, there's a small cautionary note that it depends upon sample size. Let's say the second rule of thumb, variables which are measured as ranks or scores do not follow normal distribution. Let's take a small example, Apgar score. So this is a variable which is measured as scores. So this does not follow, generally does not follow normal distribution. Or another example, if you rank or if you score liver fibrosis as mild, moderate, severe, or 0, 1, 2, 3, or pain measured in visual analog scale. So these are some of the examples of variables measured as ranks and scores which usually does not follow normal distribution. The third rule of thumb is that variables which are measured as counts usually do not follow normal distribution. Let's take a small example of a variable measured as counts. Number of people experiencing headache. So that we will tell, okay, 20 people experienced or 30 people experienced. So these are all just counts. Number of people encountering a road traffic accident. Again, these are just counts, number of people, isn't it? So these usually does not follow normal distribution. This follows a distribution called binomial. What is meant by binomial? Bi means two. The variables which have two possible outcomes. Let's take the previous example we took. Number of people experiencing headache, isn't it? So how many people experience headache? How many people did not experience headache? So that has two outcomes only. So this also does not follow normal distribution. The fourth rule of thumb is about summary statistics. If we can have an idea about the mean and standard deviation, abbreviated as SD here, we can also tell about whether this particular variable follows normal distribution or not. How can we say that? If mean is less than 2 times of standard deviation, then it is a skewed data. What do we mean by that? It is not symmetric. So it is, the values are organized to one particular site and it usually does not follow normal distribution. The fifth rule of thumb which you should remember is, if mean equal to median, then it is a symmetric distribution. You might be remembering that in a normal distribution we saw mean equal to median, isn't it? So this is a symmetric distribution, and whenever you have mean equal to median, it is always a symmetric distribution. So these are 5 rules of thumb which we should always remember, which will help us determine which variables follow normal distribution and so on. Let's come to the last part of this session. Why are we more bothered about this normal distribution? Now there are 2 implications of why should we know whether a variable follows normal distribution or not. The first implication is that if a variable follows normal distribution, then we can use some tests like say t-test ANOVA. So some of the tests which are used for statistical analysis of data, they have an assumption that the data follows normal distribution. So we can use these tests only if these assumptions are satisfied. Hence we need to know whether data follows normal distribution or not. Secondly, if we are more in research, you all know that we take a sample, we do all our research in sample and we infer all the results to the population. If you want to find from sample to the values in population, what we call as population parameters. So if you want to find out what will happen, mathematically find out what will happen, what will be the value if this experiment had been conducted in the whole population, then this can be calculated only if the sample follows normal distribution. Why it can be done? Because these are probability sampling. So we can find out the probability of sample value from population value from what we observe from a sample. So this is another important implication why we should know about population, why we should know whether a variable follows normal distribution or not. Now to summarize, what have we seen in this session? We saw what is distribution and we explained that distribution is nothing but what we call as frequency distribution, which refers to the distribution of frequency of values of a variable in a sample. We went on to see about what is normal distribution. We explained the characteristics that it is a symmetric bell-shaped distribution with mean equal to median in the center, and if we go from mean to each sides of say 1 SD on each side, mean plus or minus SD, we can cover 68, and if we cover mean plus or minus 2 SD, we can cover 95% of observations. We saw the 5 rules of thumb which dictate which variables follow normal distribution. We saw that all bodily parameters follow normal distribution. All parameters which are measured as ranks and scores, all parameters or all variables which are measured as counts do not follow normal distribution. If mean is less than 2 SD, then it is a skewed distribution and it's not a normal distribution. And if mean equal to median, it's a symmetric distribution, and in many times it can be a normal distribution. Finally, we saw about the 2 implications. Why are we more bothered about this normal distribution? Many statistical tests have an assumption that data should follow normal distribution. Then only the test can be carried out for the analysis of data. And secondly, we can predict the population parameters from what we observed from the sample if the data follows normal distribution. So these are the 2 implications, or why we should know this data follows normal distribution or not. So that's all for this session, and if you have any doubts, please get back to us. Thank you very much.